Welcome to part 2 of the applications of proportions. This one does a lot with consumer price index, and I don't have the index in this video, so you might want to have a copy of the consumer price index for the past, I don't know, 20 or 30 years nearby from your packet or the internet or whatever to help you. But I will give you all the numbers as we go through these problems. So we're going to start here with number 8. When Twinkies made a comeback in 2013 after Hostess was purchased by new owners, Hostess set the cost of a box of 10 at $3.99, right? What a steal. If the box of a price of 10 Twinkies increased at the rate of inflation, how much would you expect one of these boxes to cost today? Now, I like to compare years, right, of what years I'm dealing with. So we have information of 2013, and I'm going to use full years for this problem at least. So I'm going to use 2015 because 2016 is not over yet, right? So recalling that for CPI, I always put money in the top, and I put my CPI values in the bottom for comparison. That's just how I do my problems. So in 2013, we know the cost of Twinkies was $3.99. And from the CPI page, which you do not see here, the CPI for 2013 is $232,957. In 2015, we're trying to find the value of the Twinkies, and the CPI is 237.017. So you can see the CPIs have gone up slightly, which means the cost of the Twinkies should have gone up slightly. So when I cross multiply, I end up with a value for Twinkies at $4.06. So in 2 years, they should have increased by approximately 7 cents per box, less than a penny a Twinkie. In number 9, I bought my first car in 2015. That's a lie, but it's the problem. I paid $12,800 for the automobile. If the price of the car increased at the same rate as inflation, how much would I have paid in 2008? Okay, so looking at our years, 2015, 2008. Okay, so in 2015, the money was $12,800, and just like in the previous problem, the CPI was 237,017. How much am I paying in 2008? I don't know, but the CPI is 215,303. Now you can see the CPI is less than it was in 2015, so we know that the price of the car should be less, right? Kind of use common sense just to see if your answer should be higher or lower. So I'm going to cross multiply to solve my proportion, and I get a value of $11,627.34. So you can see the CPI went down, and of course the price of the automobile also went down. Number 10, the minimum wage in Illinois in 1978 was $2.10 an hour. If the minimum wage in Illinois kept up with inflation, what would you expect the minimum wage to be in 2016? Okay, so if you look in your packet, you do have some values. March of 2016 is the most recent in the class that we have access to. So we're looking at 1978 compared to March of 2016. Now, in 1978, the price was $210, and the CPI for 1978 was 65.2. We're trying to figure out what should it have been in March of 2016 with a CPI of 238,132. Now I call this should be, right? This is what it should have been if it's with inflation. They tell us in the problem what it actually is, so we can play the what if game. I like the what if game. All right, so we cross multiply, divide, and end up with a number 10. Here we go. $7.67 is what minimum wage should have been. If minimum wage grew just with inflation, that's it. That's the only thing. It should be $7.67, but it's higher than that. So because the actual is greater than the should be, we say it grew faster than inflation because it's bigger than what it should have been, right? It grew faster. Okay. Number 11. The average U.S. ticket price in the year 2000 was $5.39. In 2015, the price was $8.42. Did it increase faster or slower? Now you have to play the what if game basically. Pretend like you don't know this price. You would say, okay, let's compare 2000 to 2015. let's say in 2000 it was $5.39, and the CPI in 2000 is 172.2. In 2015, let's pretend we don't know what it is, but we know the CPI is 237.017. So when we cross multiply, we get a value of $7.42. This is what the price of the ticket should be. Now, we know that the actual, here's the actual up here. So the actual is greater than the should be. So the ticket prices for movies grew faster than inflation. You can kind of see the mode here is that everything seems to grow faster than inflation, right? Number 12. In 2006, the first Blu-ray player to be sold in the U.S., a Samsung model, had a price of $999.99, but it wasn't $1,000. If, let's pretend Blu-ray players rose at the rate of inflation, how much would it be today? Okay, so we're comparing 2006, and again, I'm going to use 2015 because it's the most recent full year. And we know in 2006 it was $999.99. CPI for 2006 is 201.6. I'm trying to figure out what it should be right now in terms of price, but I know the CPI for 2015 is 237.017. I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply, and the price of a Blu-ray player in 2015 should have been $1,175.67. And then it says, explain whether or not this is accurate. And I'm going to go with no. I have a friend who has 3 Blu-ray players. There's no way she would own 3 of them if they were this much because she is cheap. So the price of Blu-ray players has gone down considerably in the last 10 years. So no, this is not accurate. So I guess not everything grows at the same or faster than inflation. And the last problem here. The average cost of an adult funeral, what up, depressing, can be seen in the accompany chart, right? Super expensive to die. Just don't do it. So has the cost of adult funeral increased more than, less than, or the same rate as inflation? So I'm actually going to use 1980 and compare it to 2013. I'm not using 1975 because the CPI chart in our table or in our packet does not go back that far. So I'm comparing 1980 to 2013. And in 1980, the cost of the funeral was $1,809, and the CPI, according to my table, is 82.4. Now in 2013, I understand, we know, but we're playing the what if game. What if it grew the same as inflation? Well, 2013 has 232.957. So I'm going to cross multiply, and if funerals grew the same rate as inflation, this is the should be price, it should be $5,114.31 in 2013. But in actuality, it's this much, right? The actual is greater than the should be, which means funerals grew faster than inflation. That's what that means. Now, this problem does say show 2 calculations, so you might choose, I don't know, compare 2000 to 2013, or compare 1980 to 1995, whatever. Pick two more years and compare them. See how they relate. I chose 2000 and in 2013. Those are the 2 years I picked. And again, it grew faster than inflation. I don't know if that's true for all of them, but those are the 2 that I chose. So CPI, what? Yep.